night air in San Jose carried a strange silence, the kind that hums in your ears even when everything around you stands still. Daniel Foster adjusted the strap of his backpack as the taxi stopped in front of the vast mansion that loomed in front of him, the legendary Winchester Mystery House. He had read about it for years, watched documentaries, and followed every paranormal channel that spoke of its endless corridors and haunted rooms. But now, standing at its gates, the house didn't feel like a tourist attraction. It felt alive. Built by Sarah Winchester, widow of the rifle magnate, this mansion was said to have been constructed under a curse. Doors opened into walls, staircases led to nowhere, and rooms were built to confuse spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifle. Daniel wasn't here for fun. He was a graduate researcher from UCLA, writing his thesis on American haunted architecture, the psychology of space and fear. He had permission to stay 3 nights inside the mansion for observation. What he didn't know was that the house didn't like guests who stayed too long. The caretaker, Mrs. Harlow, met him at the entrance. Her wrinkled face smiled politely, but her eyes were sharp and watchful. "You'll be in the West Wing," she said, handing him an old brass key. "Room 21. Do not wander after midnight." "Of course," Daniel replied, half amused. "Superstitious rule, huh?" "No," she said softly. "A survival rule." She walked away before he could respond. Inside, the air was thick with dust and wood polish. The corridors twisted like a maze, each turn revealing another hallway, lined with paintings whose eyes seemed to follow him. The ticking of an unseen clock echoed faintly, steady and rhythmic like a heartbeat beneath the floorboards. Daniel unpacked in room 21, a small chamber with antique furniture, a single window and a large mirror opposite the bed. He set up his camera and audio recorder. His plan was simple: document every sound, every movement, every illusion of haunting. At midnight, he began his notes. "The house is unnaturally quiet," he whispered into the recorder. "No wind, no creaking, just this heavy pressure in the air, like something's listening." He laughed nervously at his own words. Then something faint, a whisper, so soft it could have been imagination. "Turn back." He froze, heart thudding. "Hello?" His voice bounced back from the walls, thin and hollow. Nothing. He wrote it down anyway, calling it auditory suggestion. But when he reviewed the recording, the whisper was clear, a woman's voice, distant, pleading. "Turn back, please." His stomach tightened. It was probably an echo, a sound leak from another tour, except there were no tours after dark. At 2:15 a.m., the mirror fogged slightly, though the air was cold. Words began forming on the glass as if drawn by invisible fingers. 3 shaky letters. "Run." Daniel stumbled back, grabbed his phone, and snapped a photo. But the message was already fading. He stared at the glass for minutes, trying to rationalize what he'd seen. Then the floor creaked behind him. He turned, but no one was there. Just the long hallway stretching into darkness. The next morning, Mrs. Harlow poured him coffee in the dining room. "Sleep well?" she asked. "Not really," Daniel said. "The mirror in my room? It fogged up last night. I think someone—" "Don't speak of it," she cut him off sharply. Her hand trembled slightly as she set the cup down. "The mirrors are old. They hold memories. Best to cover them at night." Daniel raised an eyebrow but didn't argue. When he returned to room 21 later that day, he covered the mirror with a bedsheet just to humor her. He continued exploring the mansion with his camera. There were hundreds of rooms, staircases ending at ceilings, and doors that opened into solid walls. In one corridor, he found a door half hidden behind a curtain. It wasn't on the map. He pushed it open and stepped inside. The air was different, colder. Dust swirled in the dim light from a single window. At the center of the room stood an old rocking chair, moving gently though no breeze was present. On the floor, a small pile of bullets, Winchester rifle shells, rested in a neat circle. A low whisper rose again, surrounding him. This time it said something new. "She never finished the house. She can't stop building." Daniel's pulse raced. He looked around, trying to find the source. But the whisper seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. His camera caught a faint shadow behind him. Tall and thin, moving when he didn't, he ran out, slamming the door. When he turned back, the curtain had fallen back into place. The door was gone, only wall. That night, Daniel sat by his recorder, speaking shakily. "I found a hidden room today. It vanished afterward. Maybe I got lost in the layout." But the audio caught whispers. "I think someone's still building." As he played it back, another voice joined his. "Yes, still building, always." The room temperature dropped. The mirror, though covered, shivered slightly, as if something behind it moved. Daniel whispered, "Who's there?" From under the